So Nancy, first question, why run?
Why run? I never expected to run necessarily, but the former mayor, Dykstra, called me on a Tuesday to say that he wasn't going to be running for re-election for mayor of Holland. He didn't tell me at that time that he'd be leaving partway through his term. And I said, you know, great, that sounds like a great opportunity, and he didn't have any other details at the time. The next day, Bob Vandebussy called me and told me that he was going to be running for mayor of Holland, and I said, God's best to you, and that was that. The next day, I started getting calls from people asking me to consider running for mayor. And I said to my husband, well, I think I may have to give this serious consideration. And he said, well, while you're thinking and praying about it, you better go door to door for signatures because we have 5 days. So this was Thursday evening. I really made the decision to start thinking about it. And the deadline, of course, is the following Tuesday at 4, and you really need to get things in by Monday to check signatures. So I started doing that, and I really felt like I was supposed to do it. And the people that I asked for help offered to give me more help than I asked for. And the final confirmation came on Monday afternoon after I had submitted things in the morning. And so I know I'm supposed to run for the mayor of City of Holland, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday.
What do you think the biggest issues facing Holland are?
I think a really important thing for us is to continue to focus on what Van Raalte set up with his seal for the City of Holland. That original City Council said, in unity is our strength, God be with us. Those words were in Dutch, and they really got that. Whenever things went wrong or there was adversity, as a group they came together in order to solve it. They worked on having a school system as well as a public system, and all of that worked together so well. That's why we have such an amazing town-gown relationship here in Holland, and I think that's a very important thing. The level of relationship that we have throughout the leadership body in Holland is great. I think really it's a city of leaders, and that you don't have to be in City Council to be a leader in Holland, and I think we have a lot of mutual respect. There are pillars that have been a part of this community for a long time that give of their time and money and sacrifice much in order to keep this place successful, and I would want to build on those relationships, continue to be people that we can trust, that a handshake means our word. And as we go into the different projects that we have coming with the Civic Center, that's a big deal. We've hired the Edgewater Resources now. We should be starting our stakeholder meetings in January. We'll begin with our charrette process, inviting the public in. There should be some intensive sessions of that. We're going to do it in maybe like weekly meetings, they said, and we should come to some resolution by March of this next year. And that's a big deal because the Civic Center's been there since 1954. We've had several committees that have gone through all kinds of things, and we got the notebooks in the shelf, and it's time now to really make some difference with that. Windmill Island Gardens is in the black this year, which is exciting, and we're really doing a lot since we've fixed the windmill. Now we've hired Matt Helmus in order to help us with marketing and programming so that we can have events to bring people out there more often. And he has a great love for the Netherlands and for Holland and for that synergy. And I think that'll be a great addition as well. I also think we have to think about Van Raalte's farm and preserving that whole historic section that we made on Van Raalte's farm block. There are 30 acres that we've designated to be historic sites, and Van Raalte's home is there, not Albertus, but his son, when he came back from the Civil War, moved in there with their family. So that's where we have our Civil War muster in September to celebrate that veteran and all that has been in our past that we want to think about as far as honoring people and appreciating their sacrifice. So we have 2 barns out there that are great, but they need attention. And so we want to start committees like we did for Windmill Island Gardens. And for the windmill, we want to start with probably a strategic plan committee and then forming a business plan committee to figure out ways to make that profitable and accessible for people more.
What sets you apart from your opponent?
I would say we both love Holland. We care a lot about it. I've not been here my whole life. I'm from Chicago. I was born in Grand Rapids, lived in the Detroit area for a while, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, moved here as an adult when we got married. We've been living in the city for about 26 years now. I love the city. I've been a big part of a lot of things that happen just because I want to give back, and I appreciate all that has been done in this community, and I want to be a part of helping it in the next level. I love brainstorming, I love setting vision, I love communication, I love listening to people. I would hope that people would see me as open to their opinions and accessible, available, willing to be a part of a team in order to make good things happen. I love marketing, I love getting a message out there, and government can't any longer be a passive organization that waits for other people to come to it. We need to be aggressive with giving our message out of what we're doing and how we're making this a better place. So I love communication, I love being with people, I love the city, and if I could be its mayor, I'd be very honored to serve in that position.
You got an open camera. Anything I didn't ask you that you want to add, that you want voters to know about?
Well, I think another thing we always have to remember are our neighborhoods. We really care about continuing to build strength in our neighborhoods. And we launched a program a few years ago called Neighborhood Connections that's kind of morphed a little bit, but the bottom line premise of that is that we have organizations in the neighborhood that get to know the neighbors, and we do virtual communication, and they really build on each other's strengths in order to weave a fabric of a very strong community. So it's not people from elsewhere coming in to say how we can fix your neighborhood or your place. It's people within the neighborhood empowered to be a stronger place for each other. And I love that principle, and I really think that that is the way we need to continue to build our communities. And a lot of times it's outside people, other organizations, nonprofits that can live within a community, be a part of a community, get to know people, and do so much more than government coming in.